The afternoon sun burned brightly over Ouagadougou. The streets were alive with the usual chaos. Motorbikes zipping past, hawkers balancing trays of peanuts on their heads, children shouting as they chased each other across the dusty sidewalks. Amidst the movement of life, two men sat quietly under the shade of a neem tree near the marketplace. Their clothes were torn, their sandals worn out, and their faces carried the heavy look of men who had seen better days. The first was Abdoulaye, a tall man with sharp cheekbones and eyes that always carried a trace of arrogance, even in poverty. Beside him sat Moussa, shorter, round-faced, and calmer in manner. They had once been the pride of their neighborhood, known for their strength, laughter, and talent on the football field. But life had carried them down a different road, one filled with wasted chances and reckless decisions. As they sat there debating how to get food for the evening, the sound of approaching sirens rose behind them. A convoy of black SUVs slowed as it entered the market road. People began to wave excitedly. Children ran after the cars, shouting, "So, Sailor President Ibrahim Traoré!" Their voices carried both pride and admiration. Abdullah and Moussa looked up just in time to see the convoy pass. In the middle car, a young, confident man sat, his beret tilted neatly, his eyes scanning the road. It was none other than President Ibrahim Traoré, the soldier who'd risen to lead the nation and had quickly become a symbol of courage and hope. For a brief second, Ibrahim's eyes met theirs. He blinked, frowned, then quickly signaled for the convoy to stop. The cars screeched gently to a halt, guards stepping out immediately, their eyes alert. But Ibrahim raised a hand asking them to relax. Then, to everyone's shock, the president himself stepped down from the car and walked toward the two ragged men under the tree. Abdullahi Moussa, his voice carried both surprise and disbelief. The two men froze. They had not seen Ibrahim in many years, not since he had joined the military and moved away from their neighborhood. For a moment, they weren't sure if they should stand or stay seated. Then Moussa rose, awkwardly dusting his trousers. Ibrahim Traoré, he whispered, as if afraid his eyes were deceiving him. Yes, it is me, Ibrahim said warmly, stepping forward and pulling both men into a firm embrace. My brothers from the old days. What has happened to you? Abdul forced a smile, though his pride was wounded. Ah, my brother, you know how life is. Things have not been kind to us. Moussa nodded sadly. We struggle, Ibrahim. Every day is a battle just to eat. For a moment, Ibrahim did not speak. He looked at their sunken cheeks, their trembling hands, their clothes that had not seen soap in months. His heart ached. Memories flooded his mind of the three of them running barefoot in the red sand, building makeshift footballs from plastic bags, sharing roasted corn after games, laughing until their stomachs hurt. They had been inseparable once. Now here they were, reduced to beggars on the street. Without hesitation, Ibrahim said, Tomorrow come to my residence. You will have lunch with me. We will talk. You are my brothers. I cannot see you like this. Abdullah's eyes lit up for a brief second, then narrowed again. Your residence? You mean the State House? Ibrahim chuckled. Yes, that is where I stay now. Don't worry about guards or protocols. I will make sure they allow you in. Just come. Moussa bowed his head in gratitude. May Allah bless you, Ibrahim. We will come. Thank you. Abdullah said nothing, only nodded stiffly. Ibrahim squeezed their shoulders and whispered, Tomorrow at noon, don't be late. With that, he returned to his car. The convoy drove off, leaving the market buzzing with whispers about how the president had stopped to greet two poor men like old friends. Later that evening, as the sun dipped and the sky turned orange, Abdullah and Moussa sat together in the same spot, chewing roasted peanuts someone had given them. The conversation turned quickly to what had happened. Moussa's face shone with hope. Did you hear him? He invited us for lunch. Imagine lunch with the president of Burkina Faso, our own childhood friend. This is a blessing, Abdul. Things are about to change. But Abd spat the peanut shell on the ground and scowled. Change, huh? Did you see what he did today? With all his money, with all his power, he only invited us to eat food. Just food, Moussa. He did not even give us a single coin as we sat there. Moussa frowned. Brother, don't be quick to judge. Maybe he wanted to talk to us first before helping. Helping? Abdullah laughed bitterly. Helping would have been giving us money on the spot. He is a soldier. He knows we are hungry, but instead he just offered food. Food that will pass through our stomachs and vanish. Is that help? Abdul, he is the president now. Maybe he cannot just hand out money in the street like that. People were watching, so what? Does he not remember the days we played together? Did he not borrow my football boots when his were torn? Did he not eat from my mother's pot when his family had nothing? And now with all his soldiers and cars, he thinks he is too big to help us. Stingyman Musa sighed deeply. You are being unfair. Let's not conclude yet, he said. Come tomorrow. Maybe he has plans. Maybe he will set us up with something better than just money. Abdul shook his head. You can go if you want. As for me, I don't trust him. People change when they touch power. Brother, please, Musa pleaded. Let's give him a chance. He could have ignored us, but he stopped. He hugged us in front of everyone. That must mean something. Tomorrow, let's go to his house and hear what he has to say. Please, Abdul. Fell silent, staring into the distance as the call to prayer echoed across the city. His pride warred with his hunger, his bitterness clashing with old memories of brotherhood. Finally, he muttered, Fine, we will go tomorrow. But mark my words, Musa, that man has forgotten us. He is not the Ibrahim we used to know. The next morning, Abdul and Musa woke earlier than usual. Normally, they had no reason to hurry out of sleep, but today was different. They were going to the president's house. For the first time in years, they washed their clothes properly. Musa even borrowed a bar of soap from a neighbor to scrub his shirt. Abdullah used an old razor blade to shave his beard, though the blade left small cuts on his chin. You see, Musa said, adjusting his torn trousers. Today is a new beginning. Our lives will change, Abdul snorted. We shall see. They walked through the busy streets. The sound of motorbikes and traders filling the air. People turned to look at them when they reached the gates of the presidential residence. Tall guards in green uniforms stood at attention, their rifles across their chests. The big black gate looked like the wall of another world, far away from the dusty markets and noise outside. One guard stepped forward. Yes. What do you want here? Musa cleared his throat nervously. Good morning, officer. We were invited. President Ibrahim told us to come. We are his childhood friends. The guard raised his eyebrow. His friends? You? He looked them up and down, their worn sandals and faded clothes making them look like beggars who had lost their way. Abdullah's pride rose. Do not look at us like that. Tell him Abdul and Musa are here. He knows us. Before the guard could respond, another officer came rushing from inside, smiling. Leave them. The president told us about them. They are his guests. Let them in. The gate swung open. Abdul and Musa exchanged glances. Musa's eyes shone with excitement, but Abdul only folded his arms, trying to hide his own surprise. They walked in, escorted by a soldier, past beautiful gardens with trimmed flowers and a large fountain that sparkled under the sun. Inside the residence, the air was cool. The soldier led them into a dining hall where a long table was already set with food. Plates of rice, grilled chicken, fried plantains, bowls of sauce, and fresh fruits were neatly arranged. Bottles of clean water and soft drinks sat ready. President Ibrahim entered, smiling warmly. He wore a simple shirt and trousers, not his military uniform. My brothers, he greeted, stretching out his arms. Welcome to my home. They stood up quickly. Musa bowed slightly. Thank you, Ibrahim. Abdul forced a smile. Yes, thank you. Please sit. This is your house too, Ibrahim said. He took his seat and signaled for them to eat. Don't be shy. Eat. At first, they hesitated, but when Musa tasted the rice and found it soft and delicious, he began to eat hungrily. Abdul followed, though his eyes kept scanning the room as if searching for something more than food. As they ate, Ibrahim leaned back and studied them. Do you remember the football pitch behind the old school? He asked suddenly. Musa laughed, his mouth full. How can I forget? You were always our goalkeeper. You would dive on the ground like you were in the World Cup. Ibrahim chuckled. And you, Musa, you were our best striker. You scored more goals than anyone. Abdullah smirked. And I was the captain. Without me, the team was nothing. They all laughed, but beneath Abdul's laughter was a trace of bitterness. He wanted more than memories. He wanted money in his pocket. After the meal, Ibrahim leaned forward, his face serious now. My brothers, I know life has been hard for you. I did not forget you. I want to help, but I need to know. What do you want for your future? Musa lowered his eyes. Ibrahim, we want to stand on our feet again. We want work, something to take care of our families. Ibrahim nodded slowly. That is good. Work is the only way to stand tall. I will think of how best to support you, but first he wanted you to come here so you know I have not abandoned you. Abdullah shifted in his chair. Thank you for the food, Ibrahim, but you did not mention money. We thought maybe Ibrahim raised his hand gently. Don't worry, Abdul, everything will come in time. This is only the beginning. The conversation drifted to stories of their childhood, of how they used to steal mangoes from the neighbor's tree, of how Ibrahim once fell into the river and Musa had pulled him out. They laughed until their eyes watered, and for a moment, it felt like the old days again. Finally, Ibrahim stood. I have work to attend to. My driver will take you back to town. Come again tomorrow at noon. We will continue our talk. They shook hands warmly and left the residence, escorted to the gate once more. As soon as they stepped outside into the hot sun, Abdul's smile disappeared. He spat on the ground. You see, I told you he only gave us food. With all his money, he could not even put something small in our hands. Stingy man Musa frowned. Brother, stop this. Hesayed, tomorrow we should come again. Maybe tomorrow is the day he will help us properly. Don't spoil it with anger. Abdullah shook his head, his pride burning. That man has changed. He has forgotten where we came from. He thinks food will solve our problems. I will not bow to him. Please, Musa pleaded. Just one more day. Let's go back tomorrow. Let's see. Don't conclude yet. Abdul shook his jaw tight. Fine, we will go. But Musa, remember my words. This man is no longer our brother. He is just another selfish, rich man. They walked away from the gate, their paths slowly splitting between hope and bitterness. The next day, just before noon, Abdullah and Musa walked back toward the presidential residence. Musa's face carried hope. Abdul's eyes, however, were sharp, almost restless, like a man already calculating numbers in his head. When they reached the gate, the guards recognized them and waved them through. A driver took them in a white SUV and drove them across the compound to a shaded veranda. There, President Ibrahim Traoré sat waiting, dressed in a plain white shirt, sipping tea. When he saw them, he rose and smiled warmly. My brothers, you are here again. Good, Ibrahim said, hugging them each in turn. Sit down. They obeyed. The table was set with simple but tasty food. Rice, beans, grilled fish, and sweetened ginger drink. As they ate, Ibrahim studied them carefully, noticing the way Musa ate with gratitude while Abdullah kept glancing around the compound like he was counting the cost of everything. When the plates were cleared, Ibrahim leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table. His face grew serious. Tell me the truth. How did you two reach this stage? I remember men who had dreams. What happened? Musa lowered his head. His voice was soft. Life, Ibrahim. One bad decision after another. I worked small jobs, but nothing lasted. My children are hungry. My wife is tired of suffering. I'm ashamed. That is why, when you called us here, I felt like Allah had answered my prayer. Ibrahim's eyes softened. And you, Abdul? Abdullah shifted, avoiding Ibrahim's gaze. Ah, my brother, you know me. I am a big man, I thought, but luck refused to follow me. Every business I tried failed. Friends betrayed me. The world is wicked. That is how I ended up on the street. But with your help, he let his voice trail off as if leaving the rest for Ibrahim to guess. Ibrahim sighed. I see. The truth is, life is not easy. Many people are struggling, but the only way to rise is through discipline and hard work. Money without discipline is like pouring water into a basket. It will not stay. Both men nodded quickly, though only Musa seemed to understand. Abdul's mind was already on the money part. Ibrahim looked at them again and said slowly, I want to give you both another chance. You are my brothers, and I cannot sit here while you suffer. I will give you a large sum of money to start fresh. But promise me with your hearts you will use it wisely. No clubs, no women, no foolishness. Build a business, feed your families, stand tall again. Can you promise me this? Musa's eyes filled with tears. He placed his hand on his chest. I swear, Ibrahim, I will not waste it. I will honor this chance. Abdullah smiled broadly. Of course, of course. You know me, Ibrahim. I will not waste it. Just watch. I will shock the world. Ibrahim searched their faces, then nodded. He called a steward and whispered something. Within minutes, an envelope was brought thick and heavy. Ibrahim placed it on the table. This is for both of you. It is enough to start something good. Share it wisely, and may it bring life back into your homes. Musa grabbed the envelope with shaking hands, tears spilling down his cheeks. Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you. You don't know how much this means? Abdul grinned, his fingers twitching as he touched the money.
Ah, my brother, you are a true man.
May God bless you. We will never forget this. Ibrahim placed his hand gently on theirs. Remember what I said. Do not waste it. This is your second chance at life. Do not throw it away. The driver took them back to the city. As soon as they were dropped off at the edge of the marketplace, Abdul snatched the envelope from Musa's lap and said, "Finally, this is what we were waiting for. Do you know how much enjoyment this money can buy?" Musa's face hardened. Enjoyment? Abdullah, did you not hear Ibrahim's words? This money is not for foolishness. We must use it wisely. You want to open a small shop, something to feed my children. Abdul clicked his tongue. You are too small-minded. A man must live first before he thinks of business. Let us enjoy first. After all, is life not short? Business can wait. Tonight we drink. Musa looked at him in disbelief. Abdullah, are you mad? Do you want us to waste this gift? But Abdul was already smiling widely, his eyes filled with greed. My brother, relax. Just follow me. You will see how sweet life can be. And so the seeds of waste and betrayal began to grow, even as the dust of the city rose around them. That night, Abdul dragged Musa to one of the busiest clubs in Ouagadougou. The neon lights flashed bright against the night sky. Music thumped so loud the ground seemed to shake. Men in shiny shirts and women in glittering dresses moved in and out, their laughter filling the air. Abdul walked in proudly, the envelope of money tucked deep inside his jacket. Tonight, my brother, he shouted over the music. We are kings. Musa hesitated at the door. He had never felt comfortable in such places. He thought of his wife, Fatih, who was at home struggling to cook watery soup for the children. He thought of how much a bag of rice could mean for them. But Abdullah had already stormed in, and before long, waiters were rushing to their table with bottles of expensive liquor. Open them all, Abdul ordered, slapping wads of money on the table. The waiters obeyed quickly, their eyes wide with surprise. Women soon gathered around, attracted by the free drinks. Abdullah whispered loudly, Take what you want. Eat what you like. Tonight, I am the boss of this city. Musa drank slowly, his heart uneasy. He whispered, Abdai, maybe we should not spend too much. We promised Ibrahim. Abdai waved him off. Don't be a coward. Ibrahim has money like sand. If this one finishes, we can always go back to him. He owes us. Did he not eat at to a mother's pots when he was poor? My brother, stop thinking like a small man. The women laughed. The music rose higher, and the night rolled on with foolishness. Soon Abdul and Musa were living like men who had struck gold. They rented a big apartment, filled it with new furniture, and bought shiny clothes from the market. Every evening they were seen in different bars, spraying money in the air while the crowd cheered. Back in their small homes, things were different. Musa's wife, Fatih, waited for him every night, her children crying from hunger. Sometimes he returned at dawn, smelling of alcohol, muttering promises he never kept. Abdul's wife, Awa, eventually stopped asking questions. She would sit by the door of their mud house, rocking her youngest child to sleep, wondering how the man she married had turned into a stranger. But Abdullah felt no shame. A man must enjoy, he told anyone who questioned him. Do not worry. When this money finishes, I will get more. I have powerful friends. By the third week, the envelope grew thinner. The bottles on the table became fewer. The women who once surrounded them began to whisper to the men with fuller pockets. The waiters who had once rushed to serve them now walked slowly, their smiles fading. One evening, Abdullah opened the envelope and stared at the little money left. Is this all? How can it finish so fast? Musa rubbed his forehead. I told you, Abdul, we wasted it. We should have opened a shop, bought land, done something useful. Now look, Abdullah slammed the table. Quiet. This is nothing. We will go back to Ibrahim. He will give us more. After all, are we not his brothers? Musa hesitated. His heart was heavy with shame, but hunger pushed him to agree. Fine, let us go. But we must be humble this time. We must beg. The next morning, they walked slowly back toward the presidential residence. This time, their steps were not proud. Their clothes looked rough again, and their eyes were tired. At the gate, the guards recognized them and raised their eyebrows, but said nothing. They were taken inside once more. President Ibrahim was in the garden reading documents. When he saw them, he stood and smiled politely. My brothers, you are back so soon.